All right, it's Mr. Ryan again, and we're continuing with the factor theorem. Now, in the last video on the factor theorem, I showed you how we could use synthetic division to identify whether a binomial, a first power binomial, is a factor of a polynomial. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use polynomial long division to determine whether a polynomial is a factor of another polynomial. Okay, so we've got this polynomial here, x to the fourth plus 5x squared plus 6, f of x. Which of the following are factors of f of x? We've got x squared plus 1, x squared plus 2, x squared plus 3, and x squared plus 4. None of these are 1x to the first power, therefore we cannot use synthetic division, so we're going to have to use polynomial long division. So let's start with this first one. Remember, our goal here is to find out whether, after division, is the remainder 0. If the remainder is 0, it is a factor. If the remainder is not 0, it is not a factor. Okay? So let's put in x squared. Let's start with x squared plus 1. So we're going to divide x squared plus 1 into x to the fourth plus 5x squared plus 6. All right? How many times does x squared go into x to the fourth? Well, let's say it this way. What is x to the fourth divided by x squared? It's x squared. So, in fact, that's a better way to understand division, is to take the thing in here and divide it by this and find out what the lowest number down is. Well, I'll talk about that later. All right, so now we're going to multiply x squared times this. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. X squared times 1 is x squared. So positive x squared, and now we're going to subtract, right? What's x to the fourth minus x to the fourth? Well, they cancel each other out, right? What is 5x squared minus x squared? 5x squared minus x squared is 4x squared. Bring down the plus 6. Now, what's 4x squared divided by x squared? It's just 4, right? Okay, so that's positive 4, so we're going to put a plus 4 up here. And then 4 times x squared, that's 4x squared. 4 times 1 is 4, that's plus 4. And now we're going to subtract. Oh, this is a squared. 4x squared minus 4x squared, that cancels. 6 minus 4 is 2. And we now have, there's nothing else to bring down, so we have a remainder. We have a remainder of 2. Because the remainder is not 0, that means that x squared plus 1 is not a factor of f of x. All right, let's try the next one. We're going to divide x squared plus 2 into x to the fourth plus 5x squared plus 6. Polynomial long division here, right? What's x to the fourth divided by x squared? X squared. All right. And what's x squared times x squared? X to the fourth. And what's x squared times 2? 2x squared. So that's plus 2x squared. Subtract x to the fourth minus x to the fourth. Cancels. 5x squared minus 2x squared is 3x squared. Now we're going to bring down the plus 6. What is 3x squared divided by x squared? Meaning 3, what is 3x squared divided by x squared? They cancel, and what do we get? 3, right? So we're going to have plus 3. It's a positive 3. All right? 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times 2 is 6. 3x squared minus 3x squared cancels. 6 minus 6 cancels, and we have a remainder of 0. Because we have a remainder of 0, that means that x squared plus 2 is a factor of this polynomial up here. That means that it divides into it. And by the way, it divides into it as x squared plus 3, right? We're about to go find out whether x squared plus 3 is a factor. Well, it is. And we know that because when we divide this polynomial by x squared plus 2, we get x squared plus 3 with a remainder of 0. So this must be equal to x squared plus 2 times x squared plus 3. So I mean, we could just go ahead and put a check mark here, but that would that would keep us from doing another polynomial long division, which we really want to do. So let's go ahead and do it. So we already know what the answer is going to be, but let's do it anyways, just because we're going to learn, because it's going to make our lives more enriched. Let's divide x squared plus 3 into x to the 4th plus 5x squared plus 6. What is x to the 4th divided by x squared? It's x squared. And see what I'm doing here is excuse me, that's not an 11, I want an x. I'm doing x to the 4th divided by x squared. That's how you do polynomial long division. And 4 minus 2 is 2. That's why it becomes x squared. That's why I put this up here. I'm not putting that up there because of that. I'm putting that up there because it's this divided by this. It's just coincidence that it's the same thing. All right, now, what's x squared times x squared? X to the 4th. What's x squared times 3? 3x squared. 3x squared. Now we'll subtract. X to the 4th minus x to the 4th cancels. 5x squared minus 3x squared is 2x squared. Bring down the plus 6. Good. And now, what's 2x squared divided by x squared? Positive 2 plus 2. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2x squared minus 2x squared cancels. 6 minus 6 cancels. And we have a remainder of 0. So you can see we just proved again that x squared plus 3 is a factor of this. Now here's the interesting thing. Because these two multiply to equal this, we know that x squared plus 4 is not a factor because it has not been revealed through this division process. But let's go ahead and prove that x squared plus 4 is not a factor. Why don't you go ahead and try this one now. Do the polynomial long division, divide this by this, and see what your remainder is. All right, now I'm going to do it real quick just to validate what you just did. We've got x squared plus 4 divided into x to the 4th plus 5x squared plus 6. X to the 4th divided by x squared is x squared. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times 4 is 4x squared. Subtract x squared minus x, x to the 4th minus x to the 4th cancels. 5x squared minus 4x squared is just x squared. Bring down the plus 6. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like it's going to work out. How many times does x squared go into x squared? What's x squared divided by x squared? It's 1, right? So we'll go plus 1. 1 times x squared is x squared. 1 times 4 is positive 4. Subtract x squared minus x squared cancels. 6 minus 4 is 2. So we have a remainder of 2, not a remainder of 0. And therefore, x squared plus 4 is not a factor of f of x by the factor theorem. Okay? And because it's a theorem, it means it works every time. Okay? All right, that's it. That's everything for the factor theorem. Make sure you do all those problems. You'll be really good at these three theorems. The rational root theorem, the remainder theorem, and the factor theorem. You can't be good at just one of them. You have to be good at all three of them because in the next set of lessons, we're going to put those three theorems together and solve polynomial equations.